And from the talk of future statehood to real-life suffering happening right now in Gaza, Dr. Samir Khan and Dr. Alia Kattan are married, both working anesthesiologists. And after seeing what was happening to all the innocent people, especially the children, they decided to volunteer in Gaza at the European hospital. And what they witnessed, they say, was horrifying. Nothing like anything they've ever seen before. This baby was just one of many patients that they worked on who are malnourished, dehydrated, sleep deprived, and supplies are exhausted. And doctors Khan and Kattan say innocent people are dying from treatable medical conditions every day. Conditions like acute kidney injury, asthma, poorly controlled diabetes. And what makes all of this even more difficult, they say that these children are starving. I spoke with them right after they had reunited with their own 3 children back here stateside. Just meeting your family, it really helps me with the first question, because I was looking at one of the pictures of the babies that you treated, Muaz Youssef, and I just want to know how that baby is doing. Do you know? And did the baby's family survive?
Yes, this baby is the sole survivor, and I will tell you that the mortality rate for any of these children, women, any of the people who are coming out of these blasts and injuries is very high, because there's a lot of injuries that, though this baby may seem healthy on the outside, a lot of the bombs that are being used are what we call thermobaric bombs, and basically your lungs kind of explode from the inside. So a lot of babies, or a lot of children, or a lot of innocent people that we thought we would do well or would survive, you know, within hours would just deteriorate and die because of just ruptures of their lungs. So I don't know, but to be honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised if he's not.
Oh, and that's heartbreaking. Samir, I was reading all the details of what you're dealing with, the children with the blast injuries, with no pain medication, and also the flies even disrupting a sterile environment, and then the innocent children now being forced to live with these disabilities and deformities. You know, as parents, Samir, not just doctors, and just looking at your 3 children, they're so happy that you are home. How has this impacted you as a mom, as a dad, as you care for these patients?
You know, it's very hard to see these children and not envision our own kids in that position as well. And, you know, they were, as we'd walk the hallways, we'd see, you know, kids just come up and give us high fives, say hello, good morning, thank you for not, you know, forgetting us and for being here. And it was almost like, they were so welcoming, and every one of the kids that we saw reminded me of our own world while we were there. They would actually ask how our children are as we were walking through the hospital. There were definitely a lot of scenarios where, as Ali had mentioned, that you know, we expect to have better outcomes.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I can't even imagine. And that's how kids are. They are so resilient and so innocent, and they're still smiling and still trying to make a playground within the barbed wire. And I was reading that both of you were saying, even with everything that you're doing, Alia, why do you both say you still feel inadequate? Tell me what you mean by that.
The second we left, I felt like we didn't do enough, or we felt like it was nothing, to be honest, what was needed in terms of, we weren't able to touch the need that was there. And I think that's just because the massive amount of, you know, even if we were able to treat any patients, a lot of the healing doesn't happen because the nutrition isn't there or the sanitation isn't there. So the mortality rates are high. So it just kind of felt a little bit futile. And to not be able to treat these children that were in pain, I felt so heartbreaking. And I'm excited and happy as I was to return to my children. You know, it was very, very hard to leave, and we left with a heavy heart.
It's understandable. Samir, one more question, if you don't mind. Do either one of you see hope here? and I know it's so complicated and there's no end in sight right now, but for you, what could be the beginning of where you may be able to sit back, take a breath, and think, okay, this could get better? Or can you not see that yet?
So, I mean, the situation is so unjust and unfair for them. I mean, they've been bombed out of their homes and thrown into poverty. Their outlook was very positive. Despite the starvation, despite the disability, despite the disease, I mean, they have hope that we can come together as a community, and that was one of the reasons why we were able to work so hard. You know, in 2.5 weeks, I probably slept maybe a little over 40 hours. But I was just so inspired by the teams that were working there and the local staff that just has been working nonstop for almost 8 months, just to provide and just bring in whatever good they can into this world.
My feeling is you will be going back to help at some point, and I hope you will stay in close touch with us. Thank you so much, Samir and Alia, for everything you do.
I mean, our hearts are still there and our minds are still there. Even more so, we want to be back to help. We feel like we have unfinished business.